New pressure tonight on Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville to end his hold on more than 270 military promotions. He is doing this in protest of the Pentagon's policy on abortion, but it means that hundreds of military family members have signed this petition urging not only Tuberville, but also Senate leaders to find a resolution. The petition is organized by the nonprofit Secure Families Initiative, and it reads in part, quote, "It is highly inappropriate and unpatriotic to wage a political battle by using military service members as pawns. It's time to end this political showmanship and recommit to respect the service and sacrifice of those who pledge to defend this nation." Kate Marsh Lord is the communications director of the Secure Families Initiative. She's also a military spouse. Her husband has served in the Air Force for 23 years, and she joins me tonight. I'm so glad that you're here because obviously this is such an important issue that we've been covering. Senator Tuberville's office responded to your petition. In part, they said, Coach, as they refer to him as, honors and is grateful for the service of all of our heroes in uniform. That is why he is working to get politics out of the military using the tools that he has as a U.S. Senator, including his hold. If you could talk directly to him, what would you say?
First, thank you for having me. If I could say something to him, that his thank you is really an empty thank you. And military service members, unfortunately, are used to hearing those platitudes, but he's not following it up with action. He's not showing gratitude or respect for the military members in office or who are serving now. Military folks are pragmatic and patriotic people. They serve a cause greater than themselves, and I would ask the senator to do the same.
And it has a real impact. I mean, obviously it has a hold on these nominations. Yeah. We've talked about the concerns the Pentagon has about military readiness and that if they can't get confirmed, then others can't move into those positions. But it also has an impact on families like yours, where the kids can't get enrolled in a new school somewhere else. I mean, maybe if a spouse is trying to take a job in another place. I mean, those are real life impacts. And I talked to one family who they were saying, their spouse essentially quit their job in anticipation of being restationed somewhere else.
Right.
They don't have that income now, but they haven't moved yet because their spouse hasn't been confirmed.
Right. Military is a family business. We're all serving, we're all making sacrifices. And for the military families, as soon as we find out that we're going to a new duty station. My family moved this summer. As soon as we find out where we're going, we spend hours researching the new location, looking into schools, looking into where to live. And then we try and do the best that we can to adjust to a new place, to get our kids enrolled in school, to find them new sports clubs or find them new ways to make friends and build community. And he's really putting that on hold for all of these families who are being held up for his political gamesmanship. And it doesn't just impact those 281 families who are waiting for confirmation. It has a downstream effect, too, on the folks that work for those generals. And really, it has an impact on all of us because we're seeing the senator use military leaders as political pawns.
Yeah, we had Senator Tuberville on the night that we actually started this show to talk about a range of issues, including this one, of course. Yeah. And that was one of the things we pointed out, which is that this isn't hurting, President Biden directly or Secretary Austin at the Pentagon. It's hurting these families directly because of that impact. And this is what he said.
It's a tough situation. And there's nobody more military than me, Kaitlan. My dad was military. Career military. I'm all for the military. We need a strong military, but we also need to go by the rules in the Constitution and represent the people and taxpayers. Taxpayers are not supposed to pay for anything that has to do with abortion.
How does that sit with you?
Well, he's taking something that is a DOD policy he doesn't agree with, and he's punishing military families. So his words are empty. They don't really sit well with me, obviously. He just really doesn't seem to grasp the impact that it's having. He's doing it for attention. It strikes me that he's doing it for attention and not considering the impact, the broader impact, both on readiness, but also retention and on the families that it impacts directly.
And I think such a big part of this, I mean, the responsibility that members of Congress have when it comes to authorizing where service members, where they go, how families like yours are affected by these huge decisions.
Absolutely. And that's why it impacts more than these folks whose nominations are being held up. It really impacts the entire military community. We trust that Congress, these are the folks who decide to declare war, the folks that make decisions about sending our service members into harm's way. If they can't even handle the most basic task of approving nominated generals for really important, really important positions, how do we trust them to make these decisions that will impact literally the life and death of our loved ones?
Kate Marsh, Lord, I mean, you are better positioned to speak on this than almost anyone else. So thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Trevor